the next thing, which is not funny. It's a little funny, but not once you get the context. It's not funny. But Diddy's
Oh yeah,
houses, not just house, his properties getting raided.
yeah,
Homeland Security said, "Here we come."
yeah.
They only do that if they have a case. Because
True, I've heard that
um
in plenty of interviews when they were doing the alleged Tupac killer's house when they're like before it even happened. I think someone on Vlad was saying like they're only gonna do that if they have a case.
mhm.
So and what do you know? That's what happened next. So and then someone else predicted too with Diddy that um if things do start moving forward, then that's what they're gonna do also. So
What's funny about you saying predictions is there's I think a couple of like on TikTok there's people that do like those like predictions, I guess, or like the card things, right? But they did one on Diddy, and I think her name was like Salone something. But she said like she said she brought up Kim Porter, she brought up Cassie, she brought up this it being this year. In particular, she said I think she said the date. I think she said after March 25th. Like she was very precise with the dates as far as like and then seeing like how things were going to break down and get exposed. So she's been like pretty spot on. Speaking of March 25th, does that ring a bell to you in particular when it comes to Diddy? Is anything of significance?
other than it is the month, well, because from what I was seeing, like people were like, you know, Biggie's death anniversary just passed, and apparently, um, at the time that he did pass away, well, because his album was coming out, they dropped a song. I think it was two or the day of that his house was getting raided. They dropped a single off the album that was called "Kicking in the Door" or something like that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, how crazy
Right.
is that?
Ironic, right?
Yeah. So that's all I've heard so far. Like,
Well, that's what I was gonna
oh,
say.
it
So
was
yeah,
that okay?
I was like, that's pretty like tripped out that like it's just coming together, and it's funny because everybody keeps bringing up Cat Williams, like in the sense of because he said on his interview with Shannon Sharp that 2024 was gonna be the year of things getting exposed and the truth finally coming out, and I can definitely see that unfolding like with everything that's been exposed, if you will. Not really, it's not exposed. It's coming back around because all of this happened while we were growing up, and it was like it was whether you want to call it rumors or whatever. It was already on like the word had gotten out. Certain things were like kind of weird out here. It's just now I think our generation and like we're just more aware and being like, no, this needs to be talked about. You guys aren't just gonna keep pushing it under the rug,
Hmm.
like, um, cause yeah, like, so his two sons got arrested. Um, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're like guilty. I feel like what they were saying was like it's protocol. You get arrested to see who's in the house for safety reasons, like just to kind of get, you know, they're trying to find someone in particular, so they're just gonna arrest everyone and then like get names and stuff taken up. Um, they were saying that like he it seemed like he was like aware, like preparing for it to happen, because some of the houses, one house in particular, was under his like daughter's name, so he was like trying to already like you know
Yeah, like well, another thing that showed up on my feed was Mace, his artist Mace,
I did see about him.
saying things like, don't even get me started. Like, let's talk about how your stuff or your properties are in your mom's name.
Hmm.
Like, and I'm just like, yo, he's, how you told me earlier. I think we talked about it in one of the,
Earlier episodes.
yeah, where you were mentioning how he's like changed his name
Hmm.
for the reason of not being sued under that name.
Right, right,
I
right.
was like, wow, I didn't think about that. And
Yeah.
then, yo, he's putting these
He's making moves, right?
Yeah, to where like you know, it's like when criminals, I guess you want to say, or like
Mobsters.
um you know, use false addresses and like
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying, like they put it under other people's name.
Well, like in the mob movies, you always hear where they're like, "Oh, like the house is under my mom's name," like because
Hmm.
she's like not affiliated with the stuff. And remember that soccer? Was it a soccer player? Someone, an athlete. Remember, he went and he all his like money, everything was under his mom. So when like the wife was trying to divorce him and
Oh,
like and get the alimony, he was like, I don't have anything to my name. It's all
yeah.
under like.
I don't know who the player was, but I remember you telling me. Yeah.
So it's those things that just kind of like, yes, it's like a smart thing, but at the same time it kind of shows like that you're guilty, because what would be the need for you to do that if everything's like legitimate, you know?
Yeah, so, you know, which tells me that right for those reasons to come, you'd be able to still keep it,
Right.
you know.
Or they could like
Not have to
to
sell it or,
right.
you know, like
Or for like, like equity, or like to be able to get loans out, like if he's living somewhere else, because he's like, well, I have this backing because I have these properties, like,
yeah,
know.
safe houses.
Right. Because they're saying, I don't know exactly, because I'm getting like mixed reports on that, but they're saying that he was like trying to go to a place where the U.S. can't extradite. But then today I saw a video that like they have him, like he hasn't even left like the U.S. He was like pacing back and forth, and like because he stays in Miami apparently, like that's usually where.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. So that he was like at a private airport.
Bad boy South.
And then, oh well, speaking of what I was saying like earlier about like with Cole and stuff, because like guilty by association, right? Like um Young Miami from the City Girls, his they weren't saying like, well, anyways, they're like dating. We don't know exactly what the relationship is, but on the last pod we talked about whenever the lawsuit, she got named, her and her cousin. So now what's it called, it's like you kind of have to be careful, because like people are calling her out and being like, oh, don't think you're gonna get away with like, because like they're saying she's what Ghislaine Maxwell was to Jeffrey Epstein is what she is.
Oh.
Because at first they were like, oh, like in the beginning they were like, when the whole Cassie thing came out, they were like, oh, you need to leave him, like stop messing with him. And she's like she was like saying like she's grown, whatever, like she knows what she's doing. But now they're like, because they're like saying like, oh, because the white fingernail polish, remember I told you, is like that's what he like demands from like the girls, and there's proof that she had it too. So now this is, they're like, oh, she's like a victim of the victim. Now like people have flipped and they're like, no, she probably knew what was going on and like participated in it. So she's not looking like a victim anymore. She's looking like his like right hand.
Yeah.
So which she needs to be careful, because that's crazy. And then his sons, because like also one of the, I think it's Justin, he also got named in the lawsuit. So, and he was one of the ones that got arrested. So,
Oh damn.
That's pretty crazy. It's pretty, like, I'm glad it's happening, because I mean they've been talking about this for, even with the whole Tupac thing. Like finally maybe we'll get an answer as to who actually, because come on now, these were two of the biggest like rappers, and you're telling me no one ever knew who, like, that just sounds like they're covering it up.
Yeah. Oh, because good thing you brought that up. Because yeah, like what Mace was also saying in that video was like, oh, he want to talk about receipts. Well, like Biggie's not here, so he can't say anything.
Right.
And then Craig Mack. So Craig Mack actually was before Biggie, like right before Biggie. So like he came out with that song "Flavor in Your Ear," which was like, or is a hip hop classic. He was actually the first act out of Bad Boy,
Okay.
and he was supposed to like, do
what essentially Biggie did.
Yeah, but see,
Okay.
Biggie came like soon right after, and like he just pretty much took over,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
And then Craig Mack was just kind of left in the dust, and But it didn't matter to him because I didn't know this entire time that he actually like I guess you could say converted to Christianity.
Okay, that makes sense.
And he would like there was footage that came out of him at these I want to get it right. I don't know, you know, what is it? Uh when they're preaching, like at these sermons where he
Right.
himself is volunteering to speak on why he was for it and no longer with what pretty much P Diddy had going on.
Mm-hmm.
Like that lifestyle and
Right.
so forth. Um, but may suggest that it's because also he made all of them sign.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, agreements that they just couldn't talk about him.
Oh, those
So
NDAs, those infamous NDAs.
yeah, and but him too passed away. So he's like, okay, you want to ask for receipts, but like, right, but all the people that would be able to say something are either,
So
dead.
did he pass away from natural causes or did he get murdered?
That's the thing.
Because the way
It's
Mace
a
was,
mystery.
he was kind of like implying that like he got, like the way he died wasn't like natural causes.
Right. See, it's just like with, I know this is off topic, but in a sense the same when, you hear these mysterious deaths and
Right.
then all for the same reasons. Like,
Right.
you got the Boeing guy with the,
Right.
you know, self-inflicted wounds, and then Stanley Kubrick, the natural causes again, or a
Right.
heart attack.
Right.
Like,
Or even Kim Porter, she died from pneumonia, like randomly.
yeah, all around times that they're trying to speak up or maybe say something
Mm-hmm.
about what's going on.
Yep.
Like, it's not that ironic. You know what I mean? Or a coincidence,
Right.
really. It's
Once is a coincidence, not this many times down,
yeah. And then, you know, like, yeah, he's just been, he's been getting away with it for so long that I guess he just felt untouchable, and he's finally getting what's coming. And
It took so long though because they said that part of the reason so Kim Porter, she was gonna write a book. That girl Jaguar, right? Do you remember I told you she's been on like those like interviews, like not Vlad, but it's like Vlad's style. Remember I showed her to you that one time. Well, she kind of talked about it. She was the one that said like Kim Porter's the one that actually helped Cassie like get out of the situation. She told her how she was going to be able to do it, which eventually is how Cassie did, because then Cassie turned over to the feds Kim Porter's burner phone, a phone that Diddy didn't know about. So
see,
so there's like she had like receipts because that's what she was gonna talk about in her book, but then all of a sudden she caught pneumonia and like died. So what's it called? No, yeah. So that's
and I can't help to think of those poor guys like that were on that show that was just stupid. Like, even when it was out, I thought it was ridiculous just because of how, again, how he was treating them. What, that Making the Band show?
oh well the girl because is that where Danity Kane came from, or was that
No, I don't think any of them made it at all. Like, it just seemed like it was just a way to torture them. Like, oh, you think you guys are gonna really do something here?
right?
It was just a way to pretty much mess with them. And someone's, I forgot who it was, that pretty much said that that's really why he did it. It was just to show like his mogul like power.
Oh right,
Like
right.
that one episode that everyone, still makes fun of to this day. More because Dave Chappelle did a skit of himself being, P Diddy, and like, he used clips from the actual show, but when it goes to him, he's supposed to be P Diddy, so he's like, I'm shutting the studio down unless when you guys go give me like a gallon of goat milk or something like
Oh,
that.
right,
It's
from somewhere
ridiculous
like
stuff, right? Yeah. And then like even the bodyguards like carry him, like so that's why it was funny. Like, hey, there he's making fun of that show, but I honestly did feel bad for them because it was like, right, like they're thinking they're gonna get some sort of shot, or one of them is gonna make it, and I think someone talked about it, saying the only person that did was the guy that wore the headband, I believe, and but all he really did was like produce or like maybe write lyrics for someone, but none of them came out and did anything. Again, it was just a way for him to had fun with it, and
I,
that one episode where he tells them to go get the cheesecake like
mm-hmm,
down in Manhattan, and he makes them walk.
mm-hmm,
Like, supposedly it was to push them, like, you really want it,
mm-hmm.
this is just one of those things that if you really want it, you're gonna go do for me. It was just for his pleasure. Like, it was just to show that he can do that, like, and
Well,
control of something.
I felt like it just is like down the industry. Because did you ever see the movie The Devil Wears Prada with Anne Hathaway
No, but
and
I mean,
Meryl Streep?
I've come across it, or
So
people watching it. Yeah.
so there's scenes like that where like I think her name's like Miranda, the lady, right? Which is Meryl Streep, right? She's like, exactly, she just has like these like people running around under like and she's got like impossible tasks for them that need to be she's just like barking out orders, and it's like it might like, and then like within the time that she's asking for it to be done, and she's like, I don't care, like figure it out, and like, they'll go back and forth, and the poor girls are like stressed out, J Lo. It's funny because like you're saying it, and like when you're talking about P Diddy doing that stuff, I'm like, that just made me think of J Lo, because J Lo won't look at anybody that works for her. She won't make eye contact with them. She only talks to senior staff, so whoever is, and she tells them, like, I remember one of her documentaries. She was like, "Oh, I need someone, like, I need a hard worker, someone that's willing to work 24/7, because if she wants to eat breakfast at like 3 in the morning, guess what the assistant has to do? And then on top of it, babe, she doesn't even pay them enough, like, for what she's demanding. Like, she doesn't even like, there's there's not even like, I feel like, perks that are worth it to be like, but I feel like she's the type to be like, well, yeah, but you can say that you worked for me. So, like, like, that's where I feel like it's wrong, because I'm like, they're abusing their power,
Yeah.
and they know that these people really do want it. And I feel like, but in particular with J Lo, she's like, yeah, but I'm never, because she sabotaged a lot of women's, like, she's not a girl's girl, right? She's just all about her. So I just feel like, right, she would like promise or like give you the illusion that she's gonna help you out, and then doesn't, because she's like, no, it's just to benefit me. Like, I'm never gonna do you a favor, like,
Yeah.
So, and I feel like low key she got that from like being around him, because
Oh, seeing that how it works, and that it
right,
works.
and then it works,
Yeah.
because I mean, from the beginning, she's very fucking arrogant, like very arrogant, like even before she was even established, she'd just be like, she talks shit about Salma Hayek, about Cameron Diaz, like, just like the list goes on, like, um, anyways,
Yeah.
those people are shitty. Like, I just feel like what it is they end up being like on a power trip, and again, because they've never been told no, and they have all this money and this access to like this power, they just feel like, oh, they can get away with anything, and pretty much they have like, unfortunately, or like, not unfortunate, well, and unfortunately, in a sense, I'm like, it had to take so long in order for Cassidy to finally like be in a safe enough place to be able to like finally say, this is what happened to me, this is what I went through.
Yeah.